Hello, Kyle here. I am going to review David Leitch's new film, Bullet Train, starring Brad Pitt, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Brian Tyree Henry, Sandra Bullock, and a whole other bunch of great actors. I actually saw this film last night at an early screening, and I saw it on a ScreenX, which is the new form of watching movies where you have the regular IMAX screen in the center, and then on the left and right walls you get more of the image being projected. I'm gonna be honest, I'm starting to not, I don't really care for it too much. It's doesn't really do it for me. I always feel immersed in a movie regardless of the left and right screens being projected on the walls. I love IMAX. um I think it's best to just look straight ahead when you see these movies. So ScreenX really doesn't do that much for me. But this was an early screening, so I saw it there. Um, Overall, so Bullet Train is a nice looking film. It has a, I think, great cinematographer. I don't know who it is, but whoever did the cinematography knew what they were doing. It looks nice to look at. It has a lot of the elements that you would find in a David Leitch film. The action is pretty well shot. There are moments that feel kind of like an Edgar Wright film in terms of, how they are edited, but at the same time, I think one of the biggest issues with David Leitch as a director is his films may look nice, they may have some cool fighting sequences in them, but they really are quite hollow, and sometimes in the case of this film, and even in the case of Atomic Blonde, quite convoluted. And it's funny to me because I think Hobbs and Shaw, which was David Leitch's last film he directed, that was the opposite of convoluted, from what I remember it to be. And it was a very simple storyline. And that was, I think, one of my criticisms of that film. But in the case of this movie, it's just, I was looking for a more, I don't want to say sophisticated, but I wanted more deep character work in this movie. I felt like many of the characters didn't really grab me. The story of the film centers around Brad Pitt, and he's sent to retrieve a suitcase on a train, and on the same train there are a whole bunch of other assassins trying to retrieve other things, and they have their own missions that end up correlating with each other and then connecting, and you have a fight sequence and then another fight sequence, and that's how this movie works. Brad Pitt is really good in the film. He never phones it in. His character is a mix, I'd say, of like his character in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Cliff Booth, and kind of a little bit like his character in Lost City. Also, I will say that another standout in this film is Joey King, who plays a young woman that has a very mysterious past, and without going into spoilers, her character does some very surprising things from the beginning that she appears until the very end, and I was not expecting that, especially from Joey King, who is an actress that I have watched in many films, but mainly when she was much younger. So it's interesting to see her changing her variety and her acting skills and what the role she takes. I think one of my main criticisms revolves around the characters played by Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian Tyree Henry, who I just did not find were funny. I did not really feel connected at all to these characters. It wasn't until the very end of the film that there is a huge emotional moment with these two characters that I think paid off. But I feel like if you have to wait till the very end of a movie for yourself to feel connected to the characters, that means that they're not doing their job, and they are not that great in terms of characters. Brad Pitt's character was also one where I was like, I don't know how to feel about this guy, but at the end I kind of liked him. And that's the thing. I think the end of this movie is where all the characters come into their own. The film finally starts to feel, I think, entertaining, and there are funny moments in the last half hour. But it takes too long to get there. And I feel like this is a film that, once again, David Leitch, he is not one of my favorite directors. I did not care for Deadpool 2. I thought Hobbs and Shaw was just okay. I think I liked Atomic Blonde when I first saw it in theaters, but I can totally understand why, it gets the criticisms it gets. It's just, I don't know what to say. I feel like David Leitch, I hope he gets smaller films where he can flesh out more character work and flesh out more story, because I don't know what Hollywood has done to David Leitch, but they've now made him like the blockbuster director, so they give him all these blockbuster movies. But at the end of the day, I just don't find his directing, aside from the way it looks, like, I don't find it anything special. So I can't even recommend this movie, honestly. Like, I think that this film has many, many flaws. There are some highlights. Again, some of the actors play some interesting roles, but I did not find it funny. I did not find it entertaining until the last half hour. And yeah, so Bullet Train unfortunately didn't dodge the bullet, and it was a disappointing film for me. Let me know if you've seen Bullet Train, when you will see Bullet Train. Maybe you will have more fun with it than I did. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and have a great day. Bye.